Hello dear creatives, welcome to another interesting online tutorial. My name is Adiola and I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple silk turban. And right here in front of me I have my fabric, which is Duchess. If you have doll face satin as well, it's going to work, but I prefer the Duchess because it's soft. It has a very soft texture and also it has this beautiful shine. All right, so you can go ahead and just get 1 yard. You won't use all the 1 yard, but you can just buy 1 yard so you can keep the other one for another project, right? So also you're going to be needing your elastic, and this elastic right here is the 1-inch elastic. You will need your matching thread definitely because you're going to be sewing, and your scissors. Of course, you will need your measuring tape right here, and then your tailor's chalk to be able to mark or do your measurement. So quickly, let's dive into the lesson. All right, so the first thing you want to do in order for you to achieve a very beautiful turban, especially this design, is for you to measure the length. Okay, the length is the head circumference part, is the part that goes around the head, and right now I'm having 30 inches long. I'm sure you'll be wondering why that long. I'm going to show you why, because we're going to be attaching elastic. I'll show you why later in this video. So you cut out your length to be 30 inches, and then you cut out the width or the depth to be 17 inches. Okay, so 17 inches right there. I'm trying to give a clearer view. Yes, so 30 inches long by 17 inches wide or deep. Okay, so now if you notice, I have 2 pieces of fabric right here, and that is how it should be, because you want to be like a lining or like an interfacing. All right, and the other one should be the front side. So in case you want to strictly line your turbans with black fabric, so one of the pieces is going to be your preferred color, while the other one is going to be your lining. So let me assume I'm lining with black, so one of this piece right here will be red and the other one will be black, but they are both going to be the same measurement. The difference is I am not cutting this, I just folded it because they are the same fabric. But if you were to be using 2 different fabrics, of course you're going to cut them separately and join. Okay, on the length side you turn it and then you iron. Ensure that the wrong side of the fabrics are facing each other, so that both inside of your turban is looking neat, having the front side of the fabric, and also your outer part is having the right side of the fabric. I hope that is understandable. So reason why I am doing this is because I want the inner part of my turban to look very beautiful, okay, and then the outer part to look beautiful as well. So as it is now, I'm going to go ahead and measure 1.5 inches. Okay, so from one edge to another. So I'm going to start from one edge right here, and then I'm going to measure 1.5 inches. All the way down. So go ahead and mark your 1.5 inches. Okay, can you see my marking right there? So I'm going to go ahead and mark it, and when I'm done marking, we're going to proceed. So I have marked all the way down. If you notice that my chalk is not showing too much, this is the reason. The reason is that my fabric is silky. All right, so that's why you're not seeing my marking. So just go ahead and mark your 1.5 inches upwards right here, and this is what I have. I marked it from this edge all the way to the other edge. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to form casing, like a casing for my elastic. So my elastic is actually going to be staying inside this 1.5, which is going to be like a casing. Don't forget that my elastic is 1 inch wide. I'm going to be showing you the length of the measurement when we get to that part, so that we don't get confused. Okay, so because my elastic is one inch, I'm making this allowance right here 1.5 because we need our elastic to be comfortable inside the casing, not too tight. Okay, so I'm going to do a straight stitch right here from this part all the way down, and when I'm done, I'm going to show you how it looks like before we proceed. All right, so this is what I have right here, and this is my straight stitch. So I'm going to fold this fabric together this way just for me to get the midpoint, and I will just use my chalk to mark and then open up, and this right here is my midpoint. So from my midpoint to my right and to my left, I'm going to be marking 7 inches. So 7 inches to my left, I mark, and then 7 inches to my right, and then I mark. Alright, so what I'm going to do quickly is to pick up my elastic band, and this band right here is 7 inches long. Okay, and I have my safety pin right here, which I'm going to be using to hook up the elastic and then pass it through the casing, which is the whole allowance for the elastic, and then I'm going to fit the elastic into its casing. Please note that I'm going to be pinning first of all the elastic to this first marking right here, and I pull the fabric before I pin to the other 7 inches marking. So I'm doing this gently because I don't want my elastic to pass this marking right here. And good, we are here, so I want it to be exactly on that marking. I'm just using my hand to push it backward so that it can stay on the mark. Good, so I'm going to pin this down right there. Okay, and then I continue to pull the elastic towards the other end of my 7 inches marking. Okay, now that the elastic has gotten to the marking, I'm going to secure with my pin as well, and then I'm going to sew on it. I'm going to be doing a serious back stitch, going back and forth so that I can properly secure the elastic to the casing. So this is what I have right here. Okay, can you see how it looks? So beautiful. So the next thing is for you to cover up your raw edges by weaving all the edges to make it very neat before we proceed to the next part. So this is what I have right here. I covered up the edges. I would advise that you use a matching thread in your own case, but I'm doing this so that you can see how it looks like. So I'm going to, any parts can actually be the front and the back because the both side has the right side of the fabric, right? So I'm just going to fold like that, and then I'm going to close up the back right here. Okay, I'm closing up the back right here. All right, but first of all, before you close everything, you want to leave out 1.5 inches on this part. Okay, 1.5 inches on this part. Let me illustrate that for you to see. So on the depth part, don't forget the elastic has to be at the back of your head. So this means that this open part right here is going to be in the middle of your head. All right, so first of all, I'm going to go ahead and close up this part, leaving 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to close up this part and leave 1.5 inches. So I just mark 1.5 just like that, so I know where I'm going to be stopping around here. And when I'm done from here to here, I'm going to close up from this part right here all the way down. Now you want to come in very tiny, like about 1/4 inch, so you stitch from here, ensuring that the edges are properly aligned straight down up to this point, and then you leave 1.5 inches. You jump this part for your loop to be able to pass in, and then you continue to sew all the way down. So this is what I have right here. So I covered all the way down. I left my 1.5 inch opening right there, and then I closed it up. So I'll put this aside and let me go to the measurement of the loop. I have my pieces right here, and this piece I'm going to be using for the loop is 5 inches wide, and then it's 12.5 inches long. Okay, and if you want your loop to be wider, you can increase the width. And then I ironed my hair stay, not paper stay, please, hair stay. Okay, and I ironed it just for you to give more, to make my fabric, to make it have a little bit of weight. And then I'm going to turn this to the wrong side, and then I'm going to do a straight stitch right here and turn this inside out. And this is what I have right here. I turned it inside out, and I'm going to turn my turban cap inside out. Okay, and don't forget that this is the wrong side. Sorry, this is the back side. The elastic goes to the back, and this part right here is going to be in front. So what I'm doing now is I'm just using my hand to gather the front parts, and I'm going to be pushing in my loop. Okay, just push it in right there, let it come out from the other side. So if you want a wider loop, that means you have to increase your hole right there. Okay, and then I'm going to put the loop together just like this, with the back side or the right side facing each other. This is the back side now because of the stitch sitting in the middle, and this is the front side. But for now, I'm going to put the right side together and bring it together as tightly as possible, and then I'm going to stitch on it. And then this is what I have right here. So I just cut off the excess, and I'm going to turn this to the right side. If you notice that as I'm trying to turn it to the right side, the fabric is moving. Okay, my loop is moving up and down, like it's moving to the sides. All right, so I'm going to use my hand sewing needle to make sure that it does not move anymore. So what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to arrange that joint part to be in between this loop right here before I hand stitch, and then I'm stretching out my loop so that it can be as wide as I want it to be, while the sewn part is in the middle, hidden. Ensure that it's hidden in the middle such that it's not coming off the sides. Right, good. So I have my hand sewing needle right here and my thread, which I'm going to be using to tack it down from the inside. Notice that I'm not bringing out my needle from the upper part. I'm just picking the one underneath right here, and then I'm picking the base, that's the cap itself. So you want to stitch it underneath so that that part does not keep moving everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that one more time, and then I can move to the next part. So I'm going to do the same thing by picking just the lower layer of the loop and then pick some part of the base. Ensure not to pull too tightly to avoid your loop from shrinking. Okay, all you want to do is to secure such that it's not moving, you know, all around. And that is what I'm still doing. So I'm going back and I'm just securing. Right, so to the front part, I'm picking my loop and I'm just trying to secure it to the underneath of my loop. Okay, so I'm done here. I'm going to pass my needle onto the opposite direction right there, and if you notice, I'm not pulling too much. So I'll pick any parts right there, securing it to the underneath part of the loop. Ensure that you don't come outside your loop so that your thread is not showing on top. So I'm done right there. I'm just going to be tying my knot. Notice how I'm using my thumb to lift the loop so that what I'm just doing is going to be hidden under the loop. So I've tied my knot right there. And this is what I have. Can you see how beautiful it looks? So beautiful. Right, so on to the next step. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to pleat the back of the turban, and it is not the regular kind of pleating that you know. You might know this, but it's not the regular hand sewing type of pleating. So I'm turning this is my right side, right? And this is the back side of my right side. So I'm going to start from this pointed part. This is how the turban looks. This part is very big and you don't want to leave it like that, so you want to pleat this back right here. So it's not the regular one that you pleat like this. No, you're going to open it up so that your loop is in the middle but facing down, and then from the, you're going to do this on your sewing machine, but I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to do shortly. So I have my pins right here and I'm just folding this pointed part down and then I pin. All right, most times you can do this without pinning, but I just want to analyze what I'm going to be doing. So you fold again, you fold again, and then you pin. Okay, can you see how it looks? Ensure that you are picking both fabrics from the inside, very essential, right? And then I fold again, I pin. So what you are pinning should not be more than 1 inch. So I fold again, I pin. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be sewing a straight line from here down, just like that. And then this is how it looks. So beautiful. And this is the inside right here. Okay, so be that as it may, you can still go ahead. If you're not pleased, you can hold it this way at the back and still pleat it. Still depends on you. All right, so that's totally optional. For example, if you don't like the way it looks right here, or probably it's still a little bit big or like an oversize right here, you can turn it to the wrong side like this and do your regular stitch, but ensure to avoid the elastic part. So you can just go in and out, in and out, like that. Okay, you pull and then you tie. So you can do whichever pleats you choose to do. You can do this one and leave out the other one I did on the sewing machine, or you can do that one and still decide to add this other type. So you can go ahead and just get creative. So the other one too is nice. Can you see how it looks right here? So just to bunch it up a little. So this is our turban ready, and it's so beautiful. I look forward to seeing your practical. This is the back part, and I love the texture of the fabric, so soft and very beautiful. I apologize for this part. I wasn't looking, it wasn't supposed to turn out like this. So ensure that you don't have any thread showing on top right here to make it very smooth. All right, so thank you so much for joining in. My name is Adela once again. You can embellish this with whatever it is you like. So please know that videos are not for resale. If you have made payments to anyone apart from Allured Berry, kindly contact the number on your screen. I'll see you in my next class. Bye for now.